Hello friends, I am so excited to be here with you today and to talk about these amazing light waves that are coming on the chart. They are very reminiscent of the gates of heaven. I had mentioned that the very tight first wave of white, I had mentioned that it looked like a very tight gates of heaven to me, and here we are today. The gates of heaven image expanded outward. I'm going to show you the original image of the gates of heaven as well and give you more detail on what is happening with the frequency wall. And it's so interesting to see the human experience. The first thing, though, before I go to that, is I want to announce to you that I have my first sponsor. It's really exciting. This is a friend of mine. Our relationship has just been so beneficial and helpful to me over the last few years. She's really been like a sister that's challenged me to grow. And so here's her shop. She's based in Hanover, Germany. And she makes these amazing, gorgeous, hand-done from recycled materials, little pouches and bags. They're so cute and adorable, and they are all lovingly crafted. The discount that she's offering for my people is under Inspired 5. What it will do is give you €5 off your order. So you can see here $5.46. It depends on the exchange rate the day that you make the purchase. They're little small, cute bags, but they're just adorable. And most of them are for belts, like belt bags type of style. Here's her full inventory right now. She's been adding bags regularly. Please go ahead and check it out. I'll put the link down below in the video details. It's so amazing. Let me show you the first gates of heaven image. It happened the day the earth rang like a bell. That was Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. It began on 11/11 in the USA because there's essentially a day-night reversal here. So 9 a.m. on the chart is 9 p.m. in New York City during November. Okay, because Tomsk does not use daylight savings time where the chart is made. But what I want to show you here is see how the gates of heaven image expressed. It's long tubes of light with a ball at the end, and then on the really big image, the ball was doubled. This has appeared over and over on the chart, but in various stages. Like you'll also notice that there's another ball right here. And you could only imagine how incredibly beautiful this could be. I mean, I think that in my mind's eye, what I see is that there's really balls of light at various vertices, but they all blend into each other. So this was the day that a tone rang out around the earth like a herald. It was very interesting energy. And that's what the energy is reminiscent of today. And why do I say that? You see here, do you see that there is almost a doubling of the ball of light, but it's very compressed and flat. So there's one thin one here and one thin one here. Then there's a small bulge in here, and then you have the tube of light. Here you have more of, it's reminiscent, but you also just have like that knife edge type of wave that comes through, or even a rod. So this energy here is almost like a combination of 3 types of waves that we see on the Schumann, but this one is very reminiscent of the gates of heaven. And the light show started off right here. When this speech finished, bam, the waves of light came in. See what I was saying here when I said on the last video that this was like a compressed gates of heaven. See the narrow tube of light here, and then you've got the light ball here, and then you've got really just a single light ball here. Here, it almost gives the impression that there could be a double light ball, but the second one is very thin. This is what I'm talking about. Whew, just looking at this, literally, you could turn the sound off and then just like pause the video here and just breathe in and out here. I'm going to make the image take up the whole chart so you can, if you want to pause and do that. Every time I look at this, it just lifts my spirits. Let's look at the frequency wall. I put some notes in here so you can see it. We had the big dip here at the first sort of triple. There's a triple influence on that wave, 3 types of waves in one, and here at the gates of heaven. This is interesting because it looks like we might get an extended wave here. Do you see how the frequency drops at the gates of heaven image, and then it comes back up, but it's not going all the way up. So it might extend. It's going back down. So there might be more to this wave. Now, what I really want to show you is look at this, the frequency range. I had mentioned that the qualities were broken after this event, the quality wall in red resonance. But the frequency wall, although it broke for 5 hours, and now it's broken every time we get this expended energy, it's still there. But here's the thing, it has significantly expanded relative to its initial expression. Look at this. Here's the initial expression, and you can see here, that was about a 0.2 hertz range in here. It was incredible. It was so tight. Really like shepherding. It was like we were being just shepherded into this very narrow chute. And I showed that narrow chute on my astrology video of Mars opposing Diesel. There was what I call a quincunx funnel, and it was super funneling the energies of the people of our homes. It was being done through information. Anyway, the mama bears were on one side and the wounded children, the Sedna, was on the other. It was a very fascinating story. So that's very recent. So take a look at that video, Gates of Heaven. I've mentioned it many times in my videos if you want more, and I'll put all these links below. So you see here, the range was 0.2 hertz. But now it's expanded to 0.5. And while that is still a very narrow range, right? Because look at this. In the red, you can see 18.3 to 20.9. That's like 2.7 hertz range for red here on the chart. So we're talking about a very narrow range. But yet, the frequency wall, its expression more than doubled, grew by over 100%. So after that initial event where we had the narrow gates of heaven express, that was the first set of white wave on the recent charts, the frequency wall has been unable to restabilize in a narrow range. And then here in today's chart, look how the images have expanded. And so it's like our hopes and dreams expand. And I did look at when the Twitter changes happened. The Twitter changes happened at 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 p.m., 8 p.m., which would be Eastern, which would be 8 a.m. on the chart. So it's interesting because look, the wave of light came in first. That makes so much sense because this is like a knife coming in and just really finely, fine-tuningly removing something. Whew, wow, what an energy. And then the same thing, its expression as a rod of light is really an intention-setting process. And then the gates of heaven aspect of this wave image brings in that expanded frequency, that feeling of connection with the divine. Oh, wow, I didn't see this before. Look at this. Look at these. Look at these. Look at how the green is expressing here. Look at the fine lines. There is something really, really interesting going on in this chart. It's like it's a fascinating transmission of a different nature. Anyway, that's too woo-woo for today. We're going to move on here. 42 is the high in amplitudes. This is the A chart. 22 in yellow. The others, red and green, are pretty low. So the action is really coming here from the white resonance and the yellow, which in my view is the non-physical closest to the human. There were 2 interesting moves in the qualities. Now, I discussed this in the last video where there was this huge stretch up in red, and I said that there could be a wave coming. And then we get another one here to 20, and so it's Is this an attempt to reestablish levels for the darkness to say, no, this is what I want, and then to fall back? Okay, because this frequency wall was around 20 in qualities, but it was broken at the first white wave event. So there's attempts to move back up, but they keep getting stopped at 17. I'm sorry. Look at that. All right, they can't get above that range. That's pretty funny. On the 20th, which is today. Isn't that weird? That's a weird coincidence. Anyway, who knows? I like to play with the potential meanings of numbers. I mean, it's not scientific. It's just like fun, right? It stops at 20 before the wave on the 20th. This is what I'm looking at in the qualities. Are these significant rises in qualities a precursor to a wave of white resonance expressing on the chart because the darkness rises before the light? Now, my numerical observations are just fun, but there is a science behind my statement, the darkness rises before the light, and it is about interdimensional physics, which I don't want to explain right now. But if you have been watching my videos over the last several years, I have given you much information about the energy mechanics of how this works. Thank you so much for being here today. Visit my sponsor, and we'll have more coming for you soon. I really am grateful for your presence here.